trying something new as we are about to once again go inside TEW, but it's not 1991 and it's not WCW. It is the Royal Rumble 1998 with the WWF right at the height of the Attitude Era, or at the start in many cases regarded by some as the start, before the start I should say, of the Attitude Era. But all I can say is this, that this is the first time I'm doing something like this with WWF, because I did run with the the WCW. I did run with the WCW for a little bit before ending the series, and because I realized that it wasn't really the right way to go. But then I moved forward and figured out that after 2 years with WCW, things weren't going to get better. So I tried to dial it back and go to the WWF. And we're just in the early days. Rock, win. We are in the early days of this series, and I'm still finding my footing as far as which way is the best way to go, and this and that. You know, I'm still trying to find my footing as in that aspect of things. But what I can say is things aren't going very well thus far, because I actually got an email after last week's Raw that told me that basically told me that the locker room had turned against me due to a toxic backstage working environment, and I'm just hoping. Oh wait, wrong one. I'm just hoping that it doesn't happen again, and that I took care of it by changing some of the rules and regulations backstage to where the rules and regulations are now having a positive effect on the talent instead of a negative one. You know what I mean? And if you want to know what's going on here, well, for that we have to go back to last week. Compete without being cleared by doctors first. For that, we'd have to go back to last week on Raw, when the show started with Stone Cold Steve Austin, with us showing up backstage and seeing the Texas Rattlesnake down backstage, it being tended to by security and medical personnel. And for the entirety of the show, Sergeant Slaughter was trying to figure out who did it. But now, Steve Austin being Steve Austin, he's showing up at the arena, ready, willing, and able to compete. and says that if Austin wants to jeopardize his career, then go for it. See, what I'm doing here is already planting the seeds for DX versus Stone Cold, because even though how it was built up back in the day was amazing and very well booked in the time that it had, it really could have been booked better if it was given more time to develop. Following the casket match, Kane moves, beats down the casket with an axe, and then proceeds to light it on fire. Yes, I know this is what happened in real life, and I know, oh, you couldn't think of anything better, blah, 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 blah. It was, well, even though the job wasn't that good because, you know, the shit ended up on the side, it was very well done at the time. I was planning on doing Brian Christopher versus Taka Michinoku for the light heavyweight title, but I think I'm just gonna hold that off till Raw. So, with that being the case, let's jump right into the Royal Rumble and see if my talent still hate me. And now we move to the first match with Goldust and Vader. If you don't remember, this is around the time when Goldust was going loony and became the artist formerly known as Goldust, and had Luna as his manager, you know, so on and so forth, and was feuding with Vader because I believe it was something having to do with either he attacked Vader, or I forget what started the feud, but it started back in 1997 around the time of Calgary Stampede, because I believe Vader was one of the people in the main event against the Hart Foundation. But either way, Vader gets the win against Goldust, but the feud doesn't end here tonight. It's going to keep going and continue. But either way, we move forward to the next match as the New Age Outlaws defend the tag team titles against the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, and the Legion of Doom come up short against the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn as the Outlaws continue to see their stock rise as a tag team and the success grow in the WWF since becoming the top team in the company. Damn it, this is what I was afraid of. This is what I was afraid of, that Hawk would be wasted on drugs. Because Hawk's also in the Rumble, and that's basically the reason why I didn't want to put him in the Rumble, because he has had a habit of being wasted. And now we move forward with Sergeant Slaughter and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and well, after last week and the ratings that I got with Sarge managing his commissionership duties, I'm pretty surprised how good this segment did, because I wasn't expecting it to do half as good as it did, because Sarge really isn't that good at talking, but I guess Austin carried the segment because Austin's good enough. You know, so that's good. Now Rocky and Ahmed Johnson. Now I know somebody may, oh, you actually let Ahmed Johnson beat The Rock? Well, this is just in the early days of The Rock. I believe at this point it was actually The Rock and Ken Shamrock wrapped up in their feud. But instead I put Ahmed Johnson because healthy, Ahmed Johnson's a credible person to face and a good person to face. Injured, out of shape, basically Ahmed Johnson in WCW, he's not an asset. Now he is. And giving him a win over The Rock allows him to be an asset for a little bit longer, I guess is the best way to put it. But also it teases tension between The Rock and Farouk because of The Rock wanting to be the leader, and Farouk basically telling him, no, you're not the leader, I'm the leader. You know? You may be surprised about this feud, but this is a feud that's been, developing over the last couple of weeks because, Owen beat Mark 2 weeks ago, and then the following week, Mark attacked Owen, and then that set up this match where Owen was challenged to a match at the Royal Rumble to get both Owen and Mark on the show in the best way possible because they're in a solid match, 74, and, it has a reason to be on the pay-per-view. Speaking of people that have a reason to be on the pay-per-view, D-Generation X. And as I said when I was writing the segment, Sean goes off and says that if Steve Austin wants to be in the Royal Rumble and jeopardize his career and jeopardize his opportunity to face me, then I don't give a damn. Because you're sitting with me, you're not sitting with Steve Austin, you're not talking to the Rattlesnake, you're talking to me. And then we move forward with Hunter defending his European title against Ken Shamrock. This after Hunter lost to Kenny last week via disqualification, but won the rematch. Now we move forward with this match. I will say that I think that had this match been built up, had they actually, I'm not gonna lie, it was built up, but my focus was more setting up Austin versus, it was the undertones where, Kane and The Undertaker, Austin and Michaels, but Undertaker still had unfinished business with Michaels. You know what I mean? So that's where we end up. And then as I wrote about when I said this, when I was booking, this happened too. Kane takes out his brother just like he did in real life. Oh, Jesus Christ. Holy moly. Not what I was expecting for the main event. Yes, it was the main event. Oh, mama. I definitely probably shouldn't have put that in the main event. Okay, then. Who are we gonna give an award to? Well, Steve, for basically carrying, how about Steve, Hunter, and Kenny? Yeah, that works. Now with that out of the way, I just want to say that I know the WCW series and a few other series may be lacking, I will say that especially for the case for the WCW series because it's been a long time. Speaking of WCW, Sting retained his title in his first defense against Kevin Nash. Hogan beat him, Eddie and Booker. the Steiners and Steven Regal and Dave Taylor, Diamond Dallas Page, Bela Parker, and Billy Kidman. An interesting show. But either way, what I was saying is that things are relatively interesting here. Things are different, you know, and, you know, a lot of people are annoyed because of certain aspects of what happened. I'm annoyed because the show didn't go as well as I wanted it to, but what I will say is that the WCW series is not dead yet. I'm just thinking that what I may do is not record one of the episodes of Nitro and then come back with the finale following me finish after I finish the show that I don't want to record, because there is more left than I thought in that series, because I wanted to finish at the May pay-per-view, and I still have 2 episodes of Nitro. So what I may do is do the first episode of Nitro off camera, and do the second episode and the pay-per-view on camera as the finale of that series, because I think at this point it would be best if that series comes to a close sooner rather than later. So with that being said, let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know down in the comment section below, as I have some some issues to handle with Thrasher and Road Warrior Hawk. Let me know down in the comment section below if you like me taking this glimpse into a new series, particularly the WWE. So let me know down in the comment section below what you would like to see next from the Inside TEW series. And with all that being said, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time, later.